notes in the fridge. Fridge referring to this mode. All right, there's your Phrygian mode. Okay, let's break it down. If we continue where we left off last time, we were talking about Ionian and Dorian. So let's just continue in that same vein. We talked about the fact that Dorian is a unique mode from others in that it has a raised sixth. So it's going to have all the hallmarks of a minor scale. This is Dorian once again, so review. Dorian was... So that's the sound of a Dorian. A little bit of kind of a bent darkness to that, but not quite fully minor because it has that raised sixth. And so it gives you that interesting little feeling we talked about in terms of the Dorian mode. If you haven't seen that video, check that out, okay, the Shades of Dorian. That one talks about how that raised sixth note gives you a feeling of being somewhat major, okay? And it's kind of like will tilt a little bit the feeling of it being a completely minor mode, okay? Because of that raised sixth. Let's bring it to Phrygian, whole step up. So if we were starting in the do, re, mi, this is going to be mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, re, mi. Okay, and that might be confusing, but we're used to the whole do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, right there. And then here, we did re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, re. Here we are doing mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, re, mi. And what makes this unique amongst other minor modes, and it is a minor mode. Here you have your normal minor scale. Now look at the Phrygian. Notice how that second scale degree is 1 fret back. Okay, so this will have the flat sixth, just like regular natural minor, aka Aeolian, will look like this. Right, so that's that minor mode. What's unique about Phrygian is that it's going to have a flat second note. Okay, so that flat 2 is going to put this little style note in here. So this. Okay, so that's Phrygian. That's a Phrygian feel. It's also, remember, it's going to offset the whatever you remember and learned about the original, diatonic scale of being whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. That's going to be, shifted once again. And so now we're starting on this half step, whole step. Okay, so you're picking it up at that juncture. It's also going to, the majors and minors of it all are going to be shifted. We just got done coming off of a major at Ionian, a minor at Dorian, and now here we are, a minor at Phrygian. The second note of this would be the 4th scale degree, which would be the subdominant of the original key that we're in, which the original key would be in the key of A in this case, although all of this obviously is movable. A, B, C sharp. So we're at C sharp Phrygian. If I move up 1 interval, that flat 2, which normally this is my 2, a whole step up from the 1, here it's a flat 2 because of that spacing and because we're starting now at the 3rd interval. So up here we have another 2. Here's another 2. So for all the other minor scales, we're doing 2 whole steps there. Instead, here there's a half step there. All right, and so that's going to give you kind of a flamenco sound, slightly exotic. It's a dark sound for sure. The dark, moodier music that occurs in the minor key, this takes that 2 steps, pop, pop, two deep steps into that arena of dark. Practice playing with Phrygian, practice noticing your color tones in here, that this is that flat 2. Anytime you hear that flat 2, that's pretty much a dead giveaway. The only other mode that has that is going to be Locrian or Locrian, as I call it, but I've heard it called both. You know, maybe unconventional outside of classical music to really do a lot in that mode, or outside of an Yngwie type who's innovated a lot into some of that more neoclassical sound. But for our purposes, there's not that many times, I think, even the songs that are in the 2 songs that are on this, as examples, White Rabbit starts off with a major chord. Right? So that's kind of odd. Also, Harvester of Sorrow, which is the other one there, that Metallica song, that one starts off really not in a straightforward, if the key that we're ultimately in is, that seems to me that we're in an E Phrygian kind of a vibe there. But they're throwing in a 2 that's not flat. But in the main riff, that part, that is. And so it's walking in and out of that Phrygian. So when it says what's in the fridge, frequently Phrygian is one that is going to be borrowed, and there'll be colors of Phrygian in there in a song that is already in a minor context, that in the case of White Rabbit, they're subbing out. It has all the hallmarks, it's doing a lot of things that feel Phrygian, but yet the chord at the heart of it all is major. So it's like they're stylizing in the color of, in that case, F sharp, bringing some Phrygian elements to it, maybe bringing also a little bit of like that, that harmonic minor move where you have a raised 7th note in there, like a major 7. So there's different things that people will do for taste. And so I'll say, try that yourself. Try and come up with, try and isolate it when you do hear something that's blatantly Phrygian. And we'll walk up the line one more time just so you can see the major minor combination. To walk up the intervals once again and their values. Here's my Phrygian, which is minor. There's my Lydian, which will be major. My Mixolydian, which is also major. Aeolian, which will be minor. Locrian, which would be diminished. Ionian, which is major. Dorian, which is minor. And then back to Phrygian. So, but those are your 8 intervals of the Phrygian mode.